Both Stuart Dickel and Steve Erceg fumbled the bag for us, so we were forced to rip up our Locky two-step ticket last week. Even though Walter Walker got it done for the Locky Trinity, again, we missed the first two legs there, so very unfortunate loss there. Wasn't the best showing for your boy for the last UFC card. I believe it was UFC 305, so we hope to get back on the on track for this weekend's card. Been a hellacious week for your boy. Obviously, I started off the week with a very bad case of tonsillitis, which pushed back a lot of my content for the week, and it was the worst timing considering the amount of content and breakdowns that I had to do for this card or for this week, between the Contender Series to LFA to PFL to Road to UFC to KSW. I managed to get it all done with the exception of KSW, as that goes down tomorrow morning. So as soon as I'm done recording this, I'll be hopping on breaking that down. So if you're looking for breakdowns for that, as well as the LFA and Road to UFC, I have those strictly written in written form on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, which you can find in the description below. I already broke down PFL for you guys on the YouTube page, so make sure you guys check that out if you're looking for that. But yeah. Just another perk for the Lock of the Night Patreon page is actually getting these Locky two-step and Locky Trinity parlays much earlier in the week. So more often than not, you can lock in better lines. Now for this week, not a huge difference in terms of odds, in terms of locking in this play. But more often than not, I drop it on Monday or Tuesdays of UFC fight weeks so that those folks can get a much better line more often than not than people who decide to tail this parlay when I drop it to the public on Fridays. So make sure you guys check that out if you want to support your boy. All right, let's get right into it. First step up that we have for this UFC Vegas 96 Locky two-step is going to be Nathan Fletcher. He is the training partner of Paddy Pimblett and also fell short on the Ultimate Fighter this season after injuring his leg early in the first round against finalist Conor Offley. He did have some glimpses of success throughout that matchup, but managed to, but ended up losing a 2-round decision that night. Usually when Fletcher has his way, he's able to take opponents to the ground, smother them from that top position, and open up finishing opportunities for himself. And I believe he'll be more than capable of doing that here against Zigomatis Ramaska, who is a slugger at his best. Ramaska obviously does have some good power in his hands, and he was supposed to fight in the semifinal of the Ultimate Fighter. Unfortunately, he sustained too much damage in his opening bout that the UFC or the commission ended up pulling him out of that semifinal, but the UFC is still doing a good job in terms of bringing him back and giving him this opportunity on the UFC card. But I think it was more so an opportunity to give Paddy the Baddies teammate an opportunity to fight in the UFC, and I think we see Fletcher come through on that and end up submitting Ramaska within the first 2 or 3 rounds, or actually within the first 10 minutes. Second step up is actually going to be Jacqueline Cavalcanti as she takes on Josiane Nunes. Now, Nunes suffered her first defeat in 4 UFC appearances last time around as Chelsea Chandler grinded her out through the first 2 rounds and managed to survive the 3rd round onslaught that Nunes was bringing to the table. Luckily for us, with Cavalcanti here, she's an educated striker who, even while moving backwards, can have a ton of success by staying consistent with her lead leg kick, and then from there, landing her 1-2s down the pipe. But I think the key to her in this matchup will be to get the takedowns here and keep Nunes from her berserker style of striking. I think Cavalcanti is far superior to Nunes in this spot, and the only thing that will allow Nunes to have success is if she continuously pounds Cavalcanti while crashing that pocket. But seeing the footwork and the improvements that we've seen from Cavalcanti as of late, I think she'll do a good enough job in terms of dictating the pace here and mixing the grappling when she needs to outpoint Nunes en route to cashing our Locky two-step. Now, when I dropped it to the Patreon folks, they were able to lock it in at plus 134. Not much change in the odds as I drop it to you here on a Friday, as it is now down to plus 133. All right, to lock in the Locky Trinity, we're going to go with the third leg as Francis Marshall coming in on short notice as he goes up against Dennis Bazookia. Now, Dennis Bazookia is a very solid striker, and he was able to pick up his first UFC victory in 3 attempts last time around as he outstruck and then eventually knocked out Conor Matthews in the third round. But luckily, Francis Marshall is a much more complete fighter here, decent striking, but better grappling, which is where I expect him to have the advantage over Bazookia. Both these guys are normally featherweights, but considering the short notice nature for Francis Marshall, they're contesting this fight at 155 pounds. Now, it is a short notice spot for Marshall, but this is a fight, or at least an opportunity he's been waiting for the last couple of months, ever since moving down to American Top Team and trying to round out the rest of his game. He's grown very close to top lightweight Grant Dawson, and I think that we're going to see that rub off on him here as he looks to get to his grappling and keep Bazookia on the defensive. I do like Marshall as a straight up play, but to throw him in to our Locky Trinity here, I think it's a damn good play, especially considering the impact that he has on the odds. Now, when I dropped it to the Patreon folks, plus 301 was the number that they were able to get. Again, not a whole lot of change, as it is now only dropped by 1 point to plus 300 on Friday. There you guys go. Locky Trinity and Locky two-step free parlays for you guys. Reminder, there's a bunch of MMA going down over the course of tonight and tomorrow. So make sure you guys check out the Lock of the Night Patreon page if you want written breakdowns on those. Otherwise, check out the YouTube page, and I do have breakdowns for PFL and the UFC live and available for you guys. I'll see you guys later this evening as I drop the 3 best prop bets for UFC Vegas 96. See you then.